All right, everyone, the classic buying versus renting dilemma. Hope to bring some insight to help you filter your way through this thought process. There's pros and cons to both. Obviously, renting gives you a little more flexibility, but that flexibility can also be a detriment. In the largest metropolitan areas, rent right now is $1,876 as of June, which is a record. If you need more space, buying can be actually more affordable. From a per square footage perspective, you can get a mortgage payment, a 2-bedroom house, rent is $2,104, whereas your mortgage payment right now, $1,842. So if you go to rent, you're going to be paying roughly $300 more than what your mortgage payment would be for that same 2-bedroom house. That's worth considering. You're actually paying more to rent. The other thing homeownership does is, it's a PITI payment. And what does PITI stand for? It's principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, right? And so with rental, you got to carry insurance either way. Obviously, a rental policy is a little bit cheaper than a homeowner's policy. The principal portion is forced equity buildup, right? So over time, every time you make that payment, you're contributing towards the equity of the home or the principal balance of the property. And over whatever loan term you have, let's just say it's a 30-year fixed rate, over that 30 years, you eventually have a paid off asset. It allows you, it's essentially forced wealth building. And when you're in a fixed mortgage, what can't increase or won't increase is your principal and interest. In fact, the only thing that would ever increase is potentially taxes. Here in the state of Michigan, we actually have a capped tax. You only can increase your taxes a maximum of 8% on an annual basis, and we've been seeing appreciation above that. So that's the only really variable when you're on a fixed mortgage rate. Your principal and interest, that payment stays the same. When you're a renter, however, a rent can go up. In fact, I just sent out notices to all of our tenants that rent's going up. My taxes are more, everything's more, the servicing of the properties are more, fixing things is more, and as a result, rent's more. And so when you're a renter, your landlord could decide to sell the property, could decide to raise rent on you. We're seeing on average about an 18% increase nationally on an annual basis in rent right now. There's zero chance you can have an 18% increase on your mortgage payment on an annual basis. A couple other things, provides some stability in your life where you don't get forced out. It gives you financial leverage. You can always use that home equity to improve the home, right? So you get a home equity line of credit on the back end to fix the house. You never can really do that with the homeowners. And landlord might cover some of the expenses, but you might not like the work that gets done in the property either. So, and then also, I think this is underappreciated. The historical appreciation for homeownership is 4%. So every single year you're gaining on average, right? If you average it since we started tracking it way back in whatever year, it's been on a 4% trend line. The last couple of years has been absolutely madness, and it's been above 4%. However, when you look at it at a historical perspective, it's still about 4%. So if inflation is targeted at 2% and appreciation's at 4%, you're essentially netting 2% return on the purchase price every single year. And mind you, that's on the purchase price, right? So if you only put 20 or 10% down, you're getting it on the purchase price. So if you buy a $300,000 or $400,000 home, let's just say it's $300,000, you're increasing by $6,000 in equity every single year. Versus inflation, if you're taking the 4% trend line, $12,000, right? 300,000 times 4% is going to be $12,000 more. So you paid $300,000 this year. Next year it's worth $312,000. Whatever 4% of $312,000 is the next year in addition. So it keeps adding up. So the biggest takeaway is sit down, talk with your realtor. Your realtor is going to have you sit with a mortgage professional, understand the payment, the different opportunities there. And actually today there's some different loan programs that actually allows you to pay less in interest up front, so you can kind of ease into that payment, and the delta between what you pay in rent and the delta in what you could possibly pay on those first couple of years is massive with some of the 3-2-1 programs that are happening right now. Now, there's also down payment assistance if that's the issue. If you've got steady income and you have even just a little bit of reserves, it's worth exploring at the very least. And if not now, figure out when. The stats are clear. People who own houses end up being worth more money than people who don't. That's an irrefutable statistic over time. And home ownership is one of the best ways in which to build equity and build net worth. So any questions, give us a call. Thanks for attending my TED Talk, and we'll see you next time.